If you are watching this in rewind, this is, you can see down the bottom there, time codes in the description. So if you're watching this in rewind, you can go and check out those time codes and jump around and see which part of the video that you want to watch. And while we wait for everybody to arrive, I will start playing the video. Goodness, Hamish has commented on one of my videos already here. Right, and yeah, and we will actually start in 15 minutes. Don't give me that crap, you just play. Yeah. So grab a seat, get a drink, get some food, whatever. We're starting in 15 minutes. You can enjoy my lovely synth music that I've got playing.
emotions running wild. I think I can breathe for the very first time. With all emotions running wild, I think I can breathe for the very first time. With all emotions running wild, you mean it all, feel it all, lay it all on the
thank you all for waiting. Did you like that? Was that good? That I made you all wait? There's my evil laugh. Right. Welcome everybody. Well, welcome all two of you. Mr. Franco, Sergeant Franco is with us. Shout going out to Sergeant Franco. Let me get rid of that. Yeah. Shout going out to Sergeant Franco, Supply Officer from US Army. Shout going out to Hamish Webb, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency extraordinaire. Let me give you a rundown on what we're going through on this live stream, and hopefully we'll have time for a couple of Skype calls at the end. So what I'm going to be mainly showing you guys is a whole bunch of clips and stuff from China. Feel free to chime in on the comments there. Going to be showing you some leftover clips. Okay, so when you saw, if you saw the last Xinjiang video, it was like this deleted scenes video. So I've got a few other random clips here from China that I'm going to show you guys, and give you some commentary and explain what you're looking at. And after that, we will probably potentially take Skype calls and maybe talk about the Thai rescue, maybe, and yeah, talk a little bit about the future travel plans. Now, the whole reason behind getting you guys to wait with that 15-minute intro is basically to try to give other people time to actually come in. So we've got 4 people watching now. I'm not sure who the other one is, but yeah, if you kind of just start the stream straight away and then just jump straight into it, then everybody who comes in sort of 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour later, they've missed everything at the start. So that's basically the purpose behind that. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you a clip here from Australia. Oh, that Korean girl. She must be like the most attractive flight attendant that I've ever seen. Anyway, like, I've seen a lot. I've seen Shenzhen Airlines. I've seen Singapore Airlines. I've seen a lot of them. That girl is hot. And she said she was going to subscribe to my channel too. Yeah, so vlogging on airplanes, you can't really vlog very well on airplanes. There's the flight map, and yeah, that so this is a fire alarm. Emergency, evacuate. Everybody is ignoring it. Nobody gives a shit. Eventually, people did actually evacuate. Eventually. Alright. Australia fair fruit and veg in the Gold Coast. And this is why Australia is tough on pest control.
And that is why Australia customs are tough on
biosecurity.
Tough on biosecurity.
Yeah, so if you've ever been to Australia, they are kind of, they really don't want you to bring fruit and vegetables into the country, and it's reasons like that where you're going to have like bugs and stuff coming in with the food and stuff. I had to put these guys in the stream here. They couldn't make it into my video. So this is at SeaWorld in the Gold Coast, Australia. These little penguins are so cute. And when we were in the Gold Coast, we were just really not sure what to go for. And the rationale, the final rationale behind going for Gold Coast was actually that we wanted to get down to the actual Gold Coast town slash city. But if we went to, say, Dream World or Wet n Wild or one of the other theme parks, those other theme parks are kind of further north. They're sort of between Gold Coast and
hello.
Yeah, dolphin.
Hello. Hi.
They're sort of between Gold Coast and Briusbane, and if we knew that wherever we
this
were
one
going
is
to go,
definitely saying
we were
hello
just
to
going
us.
to be there for the whole day. And this dolphin training here. And if we went to
somebody's about to
Dreamworld
get fed.
or Wet n Wild or something, we would probably not make it down to Gold Coast and actually see Gold Coast. So we went to Gold Coast.
So this is actually not
SeaWorld
a
is
show.
at Gold Coast. And
I think this is training.
it's just a case of you live and learn,
Because they're
and you
just,
make a decision and stick with it, and it doesn't always turn out
starting
to be
getting
the
food
best
out.
decision. Would I
They both
go
are?
to SeaWorld again? Definitely not. It is very much, I would say it's very much for kids, to be perfectly honest with you. That's okay, but it's very overpriced though. I don't know if you saw the video, you saw what the prices were like to do the animal counters. It is extremely overpriced. Yeah, pretty overpriced there. Smash the likes, consider it smashed, stop, drop and roll everyone. Yeah. I'm interested to know, Mr. Fox, if you have been to SeaWorld in America. San Diego, is it? Or is it Los Angeles? I think it's San Diego. I've been there once, many years ago. I went to SeaWorld in, I think it's San Diego, yeah. 1989, the Christmas of 1989. I was 12 years old, I think, or 11 years old, thereabouts, roughly. And yeah, I don't know if they still have them, but they had these whales, you know, you had Shamu and Baby Shamu. And I think what they decided to do was they decided to make, at some point, like recently in the last few years, I think they decided to make their existing squad of dolphins like the last ones ever, because, you know, people are just sort of not hip with the old, you know, using animals, that type of thing anymore. Okay, let's have a look at getting a massage in China. Because when you go to China, you can get a massage.
Oh, you know, in the big cities in China, you'll see these massaging chairs everywhere. Oh, that's good. It's sticking into my lower back. I got Coco to use WeChat Pay. The only problem with them is they don't take cash. You got to use WeChat Pay.
Yeah, so getting a massage is something you can do in China. This little clip here, these girls did know that I was videoing them, by the way. They did, it's not like they didn't know. They did know, and because I asked them if it's okay. This girl here was not the greatest masseuse, to be perfectly honest with you. Both of these massages are foot massages.
I love getting a foot massage in China.
And this one was a much better massage. It's one of these things where I think to get a good massage, to get a high quality massage, and one where they put just the right amount of pressure and not too heavy, not too soft, you've got to probably shop around a bit. And they will do one hell of a lot to your feet, to be honest. I mean, there she is, clipping my toenails. They don't always do the cupping thing. So the cupping thing is where they put like a flammable liquid inside the cup, they set it on fire real quick, they shove it up against your foot, because the fire is going to burn off that flammable liquid inside the cup and then create suction. And that suction is going to help like pull the blood to your skin, which you pull the blood to the skin, and then where that blood was inside the foot, new blood can get in and heal any injuries that are there. That's the fundamental idea behind cupping. And so they won't just do the cupping, you know, they will do a whole lot of stuff. They'll even like steam and soak your feet in hot water beforehand and stuff. Yeah, they will do quite a hell of a lot, and yeah, that's it. It's finished. that massage was actually about half an hour in total, I think, or maybe 45 minutes. That was a good massage, though, to be perfectly honest with you. Have you guys ever had a massage before like that? Any kind of massage? They're pretty awesome. And Nathan went there your first month. How much was it at SeaWorld, by the way? I'm interested to know. How much did SeaWorld cost? So, yeah, getting a massage is something that I don't really know why we don't do it so much in Western countries. It's just a little bit something that we just don't do. Don't quite understand why. But it's one of my favourite things about going to China. You can probably do it, I guess it's probably the same like with all the Asian countries. You can probably do that sort of the same thing anywhere you go, because there's like Thai massage and Vietnamese massage and stuff. It's pretty good stuff, and it's fairly affordable too. Like I think that massage there, which was 45 minutes, was, I think it was something like 80 RMB, which is like 20 bucks New Zealand, which is like 15 bucks American, something like that. It's free to the military once per year. Well, hoorah, Sergeant Franco, it's free to the military, yes. Okay, on to the next clip. We're going to be getting through these things, because I want to get through them, and yeah. Okay, Coco's not in the room right now, so I will play this video right here. This is cooking and a restaurant here. Okay.
My brother.
Let me try that again. Okay.
My brother.
Cheers. You make that horrible face. There's the chicken's head. There's the pigeon's head.
Yeah, so there you go. Chinese food. Okay, so these clips here are showing you a Japanese restaurant. It's one of those ones where I've only been to these a couple of times. Now, all of the people sitting around the outside of the table are all mainly Coco's family. This is what I find a little bit frustrating about Chinese people and eating in restaurants and stuff, is that it's hard to gauge how much you've eaten, the portion sizes, because the whole idea is basically eat until you're full. So you go to a restaurant like this, and the chef just keeps on cooking and keeps on cooking, basically until people stop eating. And he'll cook, like he'll see like, okay, so you've got like 13, 14 or whatever pieces of toast there, right? And because he'll cook one portion or whatever for each person at the table. And he's constantly having to clean that thing, you know, the thing that he's cooking off there over and over again. But overall, I find it just a frustrating thing about the way Chinese people eat food is there's nothing wrong with serving food communally, you know, all coming from the centre of the table, which is sort of the way it's usually done. But it's just hard to get a gauge on how much you've eaten, how full you are, and I find myself getting so full so quick. And I don't really know why, but all of the Chinese people, they just keep on eating. And it takes them a long time to get full. I don't really understand why that is. I still haven't figured it out. But they're always eating long after I'm full, pretty much. Yeah. Okay, moving along. Okay, pickpockets in China and petty theft and petty crime. This is actually something that happens if you go to China, if you go to any railway station, airport, kind of tourist destination, you need to be aware of scams and pickpockets. And okay, so where Coco's family live is they live in Xinjiang, which is just over the border from Hong Kong. It's a border crossing, and you will have seen that in the Hong Kong video if you saw the Hong Kong video. And yeah, pickpockets, fucking pickpockets, man. The very first time that I went there in 2012, Coco basically said to me, "Watch your wallet." And the pickpockets don't really tend to approach too much if you're with somebody else, because the whole idea behind the pickpocket is like distract you or come up behind you, this kind of thing. So if you're by yourself, you're a bit more vulnerable. So we were inside the shopping mall, which is at Luohu train station in Shenzhen, and I'm about to play you the clip. So the shopping mall is basically a big square building. You know, it's got like 7 floors roughly, and you know, it's got shops all around the outside of the square, and a big like hollow empty section in the middle, where you can kind of see into the rest of the place. And yeah, I had to buy some fabric actually for my mother. Because my mother sews, and she's using it to make my niece some dancing clothing. And so I had this full backpack. You know, it was on my back, and I was wary of this place. You know, I was wary about what might happen. So you're walking around with it, and I actually caught somebody, a pickpocket, probably a pickpocket, walking. Okay, so I'm walking one way, pickpocket walks the other way. Pickpocket instantly turns around and approaches me from the rear, and walks right up to my backpack. And I'm very wary of this, right? So as soon as I saw him out of the corner of my eye do this kind of turn, I instantly just turn around and look at him. And then this pickpocket who turned around to follow me, to get into my backpack, changed his mind, went back the other way. Now why would you do that? Why would you change directions twice? If you suddenly realised you had to go the other way, wouldn't you continue going the other way for legitimate reasons? Why would you turn and then turn back as soon as I saw you? Alright? So I'll play you that little clip there. As soon as I can find it. There it is. And I've got my backpack on my front right now because I just caught somebody was about to attempt to pickpocket me to get into this backpack, because we got a bit of stuff in here, been shopping, and you've got to really watch your wallet in this place, because there's pickpockets here. Let's go home. Get away from the pickpockets. Yeah, get the fuck away from the pickpockets. So yeah, if you go to any kind of big shopping centre like this where there's lots and lots of people and they're all squashed close together, definitely consider putting your backpack on the front. I mean, you may have seen me do that a few times in the videos, but you don't, especially subways. Do not put your backpack on the back. There was actually one subway that we went into, and the Chinese people on the subway said, "Hey, look, the Uighur knows to put the backpack on the front. How does he know that?" Okay, noise, horns, noisy horns. I love this road sign. Look at that, the no horn road sign. Why can't we just have that everywhere in China?
That doesn't work. You can have it everywhere.
I love it, the no horn road sign. You don't see that very often, but you really need it.
Yes.
No horns. No horns. No horns, please. No horns. Yeah, so horns. I love that no horn sign. Honking the horn is basically banned in all of the first class cities in China. and there's only 4 first-class cities in China. There's
That's the no
Xinjiang,
horn sign.
Xinjiang, Guangzhou,
People still beep the horn.
Shanghai, and Beijing. Yeah, I mean, China's got a lot of cities. It's got a lot of places, and noise is a real problem. I mean, I understand it's like this in New York City. Never been to New York City. You want to go there one day. Noise pollution. And China's got a lot of noise pollution, so they've got a lot of problems with people beeping the horn. Beep, 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 beep. Oh, it drives you fucking crazy. It really does. Chengdu is pretty bad. Chengdu's the panda city. City of pandas. So they put all these no horn signs up. I don't know if it really works or not. It's tricky to say, but China is, if it's not already, it is definitely becoming the surveillance state, the Big Brother state. I'll tell you about the social credit system in China. I don't have any videos or anything queued up. Feel free to interject with any questions that you have into the chat. I'm looking over at the chat. Okay, social credit system. What is social credit? It's actually I would say it's kind of like a dystopian thing, actually. Social credit system is where you have points allocated to you for good things you do in your life, and points taken away for bad things that you do in your life. And the government collects that data on you, because that's the way the Chinese government is. And it can then affect you in your real life. Some examples of this. Okay. It's very hard to earn points. You earn points by doing like charity work and volunteer work and doing good things. You get points taken away from all of the little bad shit things that you do. You get a parking ticket, points off. You get a speeding fine, points off. Surveillance camera sees you jaywalking, points off. Spit on the ground, points off. Piss on the ground, points off. Don't give way at an intersection, points off. And most of this data is correlated in public places, but it's also correlated online as well. So say something bad about the Chinese government online, on Youku or any Chinese social media, points off. And hello, Ragnar Lothbrok. Yes, I am a fan of Vikings as well. In fact, I have a Viking tattoo, Ragnar Lothbrok. Yeah. So, how does this affect you in your life, the China social credit system? Well, you get points off, and you get points off, and you get points off. And then what will potentially happen is you may be denied renewing your passport, so you can't travel. Or you may be denied getting a loan from a bank, so you can't buy a house. So there are very real-world consequences for behaving badly. Now, thank you. There's I've had that tattoo since 2015. Yeah, so there's real consequences to this social credit system. But now, Coco and I were having this big discussion about the social credit system in China for a while, and this is something that Western journalists haven't really talked about much, because it's not exactly something that the Chinese government talks about. They don't give press releases out there about it or anything, but it is going on. I would say that it's in its early years. It's still developing. The big question is, if a country has a social credit system, because there are surveillance cameras everywhere in China, every street corner there's surveillance cameras, not just Xinjiang province, what's the end goal? Is the end goal to make Chinese people better, so you're nicer people? That's probably not too bad. Or is the end goal to make you loyal to the Chinese government? Which I think is not so good, because governments change over time, right? I mean, you look at the Roman Empire, didn't last forever. You look at Nazi Germany, didn't last forever. No governments, no countries, nothing that's established today actually lasts forever. It really doesn't. Moving along. So I think it's short-sighted and foolish if the Chinese government has a motive of, oh, you must be loyal to Chinese government. But you know, that's politicians for you. I would say probably most politicians are short-sighted and foolish. Right, unskilled jobs.
So you see a lot of sort of elderly, senior or otherwise unskilled people on the street, basically doing cleaning and maintenance, like this fella here. They pretty much always have some sort of uniform on. They're identifiable, and it's kind of, you know, it's basically a job to do for people of that demographic. The pay is absolute peanuts, but it's something. I mean, if you don't have skills or you're retired or whatever, but you need work, you need income, it's something. And that's why you see people doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they do work for peanuts. All these old ladies,
Yeah.
they have no work to do, and they're helping people to clean everything. After the job, you know, done, and they will come here, get together, and play cards, board games.
So the old ladies, are they basically don't have a job, so they...
No.
It's like a... Is it retirement income? Something they do when you're retired?
Kind of. You know, they are waiting for like people will come to get them a temporary job. Like, okay, I just move in, help me to clean the house or clean the rubbish.
So this is a person here that is setting up a shop, you know, in basically a pedestrian walkway, and they're actually not allowed to do this. And you know, you see those security guards all over the place. I mean, they all do periodically do patrols and stuff to look out for these people, but these people who do this type of stuff, they're not allowed to, and they'll get moved on. And here's another one up ahead here.
Yeah, so that was the unskilled jobs in China. You see a lot of those people hanging around on the streets and stuff. And yeah, if they're not careful, they'll get this stuff taken by the police. Yeah, they're a bit of a public nuisance, those people. Luckily there's not that many of them. But going back to the social credit system, things like this will probably decrease in the future because of China's social credit system. So these kind of annoying, you know, pain in the ass kind of people that do questionable business on the streets, they won't be able to do it forever under China's social credit system. So, you know, some other examples of these questionable behaviors would be people that scam you, okay, and also people that are doing things illegally. So, example of someone doing something illegally would be at the tourist attractions. You'll often see taxi stands. So, let's say you go to Happy Valley, which is a theme park, and Happy Valley has a taxi stand outside. So you want to take a taxi, and all the taxis are gone, or they're busy, or they're full. But there'll be what's called a black cab driver. Now, the black cab driver is an illegal taxi driver. It's an unlicensed taxi driver, and what they're doing is they're just driving a private car. They don't have a meter, they don't have anything, but they will provide the same service. But what you have to do with a black cab driver is you have to basically bargain on price with them, and they will usually set a fairly expensive price, because what they are preying on is they are preying on the people that want to leave and need to leave, you know, want to travel, need to travel, but just don't have the time to wait, you know, because sometimes you've just got to get going. You know, and unfortunately, you will actually find yourself from time to time using these people. But it is very important to, you know, if you do use them, make a deal with them, you know, agree on a price and then pay them. Don't get to your destination and then not pay them, because some of these people, they are actually criminals, and some of them are involved with gangs and stuff. So bad things can happen to you if you don't pay them. yeah, so yeah, China's social credit system. These people, you know, who are setting up shops illegally on the sides of roads and stuff, they'll eventually get, you know, pinged and lose enough points by the you know, the surveillance cameras and stuff. And so a lot of the stuff that goes on the streets, yeah, it is the Big Brother state, but hopefully it'll have some positive side effects as well. Okay, I have one more video to show you guys from China. Now, as you are probably aware, and I don't know if Ragnar Lothbrok will be aware of this, I haven't seen you comment on my channel or visit my channel before, but I am a kind of a part-time travel vlogger. I travel in Asia, so I primarily go to New Zealand and China, also Australia and Singapore, and I'm hoping to expand outwards to some more countries in the future, like Thailand and Fiji, and just in other places in this region. So I recently went my fourth trip to China, and we went to Xinjiang province, and Xinjiang province is the police state. Why is it the police state? It's the police state because it used to be called East Turkestan, which used to be an Arabic country, and then China annexed it in 1949, and it's been part of China ever since. So the local people there, they kind of lost their country. They're known as the Uyghur Muslims. And when you travel through Xinjiang province, the police state, there are security checkpoints everywhere, because they're checking everybody. They're checking the local Han Chinese, they're checking the foreigners, make sure the foreigner is not a spy or some paranoid shit like that. You know, and especially they are checking the Uyghur Muslims. So here's a little clip, it's about 3-4 minutes long, of me explaining the police state. I was going to put this into some of my Xinjiang videos, but it never made it in there. But have a look at this video. So I think that I need to include in these videos at some point expectations versus reality. I didn't know a lot about the travel itinerary that we were going, because I'm not familiar with the geography of Xinjiang at all. I didn't know too much about this place. I knew before we came some of the basic stuff, you know, about the Uyghur Muslims and the homegrown terrorism and this kind of stuff. I knew there was added security. I didn't know, to be honest with you, the extent of what it really is, you know, like what it really is when you're here. I had an expectation when we come here that we were going to see quite a lot of this type of stuff. You know, the Uyghur Muslims and the you know, marketplaces and stuff like that, young and old, and we have seen some of that, but it's not. I think the thing is that I've seen like the romanticized version of it. So the romanticized version is other people's YouTube videos. You know, you watch a few YouTube videos about Xinjiang province, people that have come here. Maybe they came here recently, maybe they came here a few years ago. I have found out that things have changed over the past few years. They've got more and more security all over the place here now. It's not what it once was, it's a little bit different, and it truly is the police state here. I can't think to describe of any other place in the world that I've been to that's like this. I guess it's like this in North Korea, except it's way worse. Like I understand in North Korea, just to travel internally, you need permissions and permits and all this kind of stuff. And we know this only from defectors, people who went to North Korea and defected to the south and come out, and that kind of thing. And here it's just, the police are not evil, they're not bad, but they are kind of an inconvenience. And the thing about this place is that, I don't know if I've said this earlier, but after September 11th in America, you know, the politicians and the deciders, the important people, had to think about what kind of level of security do we want to have in America, and how many of our freedoms do we want to give up, you know, to have that security. And Xinjiang is an example of a place where the government has made that decision for you, and you give up a lot of your security and freedoms when you come to this province. So basically the things that I'm talking about is the ability to walk down the street, walk in and out of a building, you know, without being searched and being scanned and stuff, because you are constantly walking through metal detectors everywhere here. You are constantly having your bag go through scanning things, you know, the same things they have at airports. And we've been here, what is it, 4 days I think? And in those 4 days I think my passport has been handled by probably 20 or 30 Chinese policemen in that period of time. Actually so many that it actually put the idea into my mind that, crikey, if one of those guys has got the cold or flu, I'll get it. So I think, geez, I'd better start sanitizing my hands more often. Crazy, but you know, when you see your passport being repeatedly handled by Chinese police, one of those wacky things that pops into your head. It's not one of those things that you expect, really. I mean, you expect a certain level of security. You don't necessarily expect what's really here. So I knew that Xinjiang was a beautiful place with beautiful mountains, and again I watched the romanticized videos. But a lot of videos that are online and articles and stuff, they have kind of shied away from giving you a lot of specific information about the security. I think that could be because the security has kind of recently been introduced, or it could just be that people are scared to turn on the phone and take pictures and videos around the security, and rightly so. You definitely do not want to do that. I've taken a few pictures and video of the security people here, but usually it's from inside a car from far, far away, so they can't see me. But you do not want to go up to a police officer in Xinjiang, you know, and record them with your phone or take photos of them. Or, you know, you are playing with fire if you do that. So that concludes a little talk on Xinjiang expectations versus reality. Do you have anything to add, Coco?
No, keep your passport safe.
Keep your passport safe. Do not, under any circumstance, lose your passport. You will be fucked if you lose your passport.
And smile. You'll be fine.
Yeah. And be nice to the police.
Yes.
They're just doing their job.
Yes.
Well, yeah. Be nice to the police. It's hard to remember to do that. To be nice to the to be nice to the police, because you get sick of them. You get so sick of them. But yeah, they're just doing the job, and the thing you hear a lot from them is "May ban fa," "May yo ban fa," "Woman may yo ban fa." We do not have a solution. We have to do what we are doing, and we don't have a solution. Okay, that's actually all of the video clips that I was going to show you guys. You guys are very quiet. You're not saying a damn thing in those comments. I wonder why is that? Are you bored, or am I so interesting that you don't want to type anything at all? So I want to talk a little bit about drones, a little bit about the Thai rescue, a little bit about future travel plans. This is not going to be a long live stream, and yeah, I will take some Skype calls if you guys want to call in. But yeah, drones. So I got a bit of money burning a hole in my pocket right now, and it's a case of the DJI is releasing a new product in July 18th, which is like 11 days time from now, roughly. And yeah, I said this on Hamish's stream last night. It's probably going to mean that I end up getting a Mavic Pro or a Mavic Pro Platinum. Because here's what I think is going to happen. I think that they're going to release a Mavic Pro, and I think they'll also, I think it's going to be 2 drones actually. I think it's going to be not just one. I think it's going to be a Mavic Pro 2, and I think it's going to be a Phantom 5. Because there are these quote-unquote leaked pictures out there of the Phantom 5. In fact, why don't I just Google search that right now and see if I can show you those leaked pictures. It's basically a silver grey colour. There it is right there. Yeah. It's supposed to be like a silver grey colour, and the lenses are supposed to be interchangeable. Latest leaked photos and specs of DJI Phantom 5. Yeah, there was a few of these sort of close-up photos like that, which showed the interchangeable lenses. Now they're basically, the interchangeable lenses are going to be basically like prime lenses. They're not going to be zoom lenses. They're going to be fixed focal length prime lenses. So those were the quote-unquote leaked pictures, not all of those, mainly it was these close-up ones here of Phantom 5. And whilst, yeah, Phantom 5 is something that everybody wants, well, not everybody wants it, but enough people want it, I think it won't just be the Phantom 5, I think it's going to be Mavic Pro 2 as well. So the rumour of the old Mavic Pro 2, wait a minute, what's going on here? Get rid of, yeah, that's better. Yeah, the Mavic Pro 2, yeah, it's people want the Mavic Pro 2, but I think what's going to happen is the Mavic Pro 2 is going to come in at probably like $1,300 US. It's going to be a wee bit expensive for what I want to spend my money on, because as Hamish said to me the other day, whatever money you spend on a drone, you've got to be prepared for that to fall out of the sky. You've got to be prepared to crash it. I still want Nathan to get a drone and show the desert of California. I want to see the desert of California from the air. That would be nice if he could get a drone and do that. Yeah. Future travel plans. I want to go to Fiji. I want to go to Thailand as well. Thailand because we have a friend in Thailand. But going to Asia and going to Southeast Asia is, you have to be careful about what time of the year you go there, because there's a couple of problems with it. There's a few problems actually. Southeast Asia and South Asia, i.e. southern China, during the middle of the year is very hot. Like this time of the year, right now, in China, it's very hot. In southern China at least. Even in northern China it's hot too. But, you know, you're talking 35, 40 degrees Celsius. You know, that's sort of hovering around that 100-degree Fahrenheit mark. It gets bloody hot day after day after day, and it's high humidity. And as you will be aware if you've been following the news with the Thai rescue attempt, in Southeast Asia, the rainy season is about to start. The monsoon season, as they call it. So that is what they're really afraid of with that cave and the whole thing of, you know, it's going to fill up with water and the boys are going to drown and stuff. So yeah, it's a bit scary. It's a bit scary, and you know, makes you wonder what they're going to do and how they're going to get those boys out. I think they are probably going to get enough of that water drained out, and they'll have to dive those boys out. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think what's probably going to happen is the monsoon is going to start at some point. It's going to rain, and when it rains, then they're going to have to suddenly decide, okay, it's now or never. I think that's what's going to happen. They're going to sort of have to decide, well, you know, the water's starting to fill up again, so, you know, we need to do it now. I think that's probably what's going to happen with those boys. And if you haven't seen the movie The 33, that's a good film. I watched this movie last night with Coco. I'd actually seen it once before, but The 33 is the film about the Chilean miners. So if you are not familiar with that news story, 33 Chilean miners in a gold mine in Chile, they got stuck in a mine, and they got stuck in a mine because there was a collapse, and they were very deep underground. I forget how many meters, it's like 600 meters or something underground. They were in a what's called a refuge inside inside their little kind of cavern, and they had a limited amount of food. They did have water. They had plenty of water, but a limited amount of food. So they had to like really ration everything. So like here's a scene from the movie right there where you're looking at a biscuit for everybody and a little bit of milk. You know, they had to ration everything, and they were down there for roughly 16 days before they were found. And people up top were basically sort of saying, well, they must be dead by now. They were, you know, starving, you know, in that kind of period of starvation. But they finally got through, like on day 16, and they had to sort of put the drills through. What I mean is that they had a narrow drill that they've used to find them, and then they put like into the tubes, like the drill holes only like that big, all of the food and water down the tube. So that's a really great movie if you want to see that movie. Okay, yeah. Does anybody want to call up and have a Skype call? Because this is your only chance to do it. We've been going for an hour. I wanted to keep this stream fairly short anyway. But if you wanted to call in a Skype, now is the time. Otherwise, you miss out. And I will be doing a little sign off with the Goodnight KIWI. The Goodnight KIWI. Honestly, I'm actually pretty shattered because last night I was on the stream with Hamish last night for like 3 hours. It was 5 hours for him. And yeah. Oh, November Fox is down. Oh, that's good. We can keep going for a little bit longer. Let me just turn off of my Do Not Disturb. So you can go ahead and call me and we can have a Skype call hopefully. And then we will probably finish the stream then. So yeah, give me a call. 0800 1-800-Y2J on Skype. It's 1-800-Y2J. The phone lines are open. We're just waiting for your call. I've actually done the student radio thing before, way back in 1997. This was sort of the days of before Skype, before social media, before the internet. I've actually done the student radio thing once before. Actually broadcast on radio. I actually prefer broadcast on radio rather than on YouTube. Where is Sergeant Franco? Is he on there? His status is still... Oh no, there he is. He's online now. Just waiting for the call from Sergeant Franco. You know, we could actually have a little talk about Arlie Ermy, because I've been watching that TV show Lock and Load. Thank you, Hamish. It was good to have you there. Oh my God! It's happening! It's happening! Jeez, Skype's a bit slow, isn't it? Jeez. Bit of a lag delay thing going on there.
So, can you see me at all?
Yeah, I can see you.
Can you see my wife?
Yeah, I can see Andrea there.
Babe, why can't I get a drone?
We have small humans, so now we can't have anything nice.
You can't have nice things because you have small people.
Yep.
That's and I don't know about you, but I don't argue with my wife. All right, no, she doesn't want me to harass her anymore, so I'm taking this outside. Yeah, just wanted to let you know. That's why. Oh, hey, Elizabeth. You complain you don't see the desert enough, so I'm taking this outside.
Oh yeah, I love it when you take the cameras outside and I get to see the desert.
This is the one. I know the lighting's not perfect here, but it's the one place where I can actually set this thing up. So, yeah. But yeah, I saw a lizard, but you get used to them.
Yeah.
I see one. I pick up the camera and set it real quick. But
Well,
yeah, this is my yard and.
yeah, when I was in China, I was told that there were lizards in the desert, but I didn't get to see them. I was a wee bit gutted about that actually. Yay! There's the desert.
Not as interesting as you would think.
Yeah.
So, or maybe I just got used to it after being here for a year, just being old. Who cares? But yeah, that was the main reason why I wanted to Skype, because I actually, no kidding, made a quick 20-second video that I was gonna upload to YouTube of my wife saying why we couldn't do it. I'm like, well, hell, I'll just Skype them and we'll do it right now. So don't blame me.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, hey, I finally got the chance to watch most of the episodes of Lock and Load with Arlie Ermy. Have you seen that TV show?
I have not, no.
Oh.
Anything of him outside of Full Metal Jacket?
Well, I think you'll get a kick out of it. I think you really will. Because it's a TV show where he basically talks about guns. It's not just rifles, but there's an episode on everything. There's an episode on tanks, armored personnel carriers, rocket launchers, artillery, pistols, shotguns, machine guns, rifles, ammunition. I think that's most of the episodes I've seen. There's 13 episodes in total. I haven't seen them all. I think I've got one more to go. But, being Sergeant Franco, I think you will get a real kick out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. But, are you allowed to, talk about your job? Because, for me, I'm not really, allowed to talk about my job and, online with specifics and stuff. Is it the same for you, too? You get told not to talk about specifics?
To a certain extent, but at the same time, I don't like to, because, I try not to, sound, I don't know. I don't want to give myself unnecessary attention or something like that, or be one of those people who's like, oh, respect me because this is what I do for a living, whatever. No, I do it because it's a job. I need a job, and that's what I do. So, but yeah, I will never do a video where I'm in uniform or anything like that. I try not to bring too much attention to it. So yeah, I can talk about it to a slight extent. Just I also to an extent choose not to. That's also one of the reasons why I discontinued doing those stories as well, because, well, one, I ran out, but two, I didn't want people to get the idea that I was trying to give myself make myself sound cooler or better, or, you know what I'm trying to get at,
yeah.
Not trying to. So yeah, so I just don't anymore.
Does the US Army actually have an official social media policy of you cannot or you can or cannot say certain things?
Yeah, I mean there's actually classes we have to go through annually on stuff you can and cannot say, and then there's stuff that's classified and different levels of classification, and of course you can give that out, how to handle classified information and documents and stuff like that. There's operation security, communication security, different things like that. And then everything else beyond that is just kind of like using your head. Does this seem like the most logical thing to say, do, whatever? And even though, as far as I know, nobody that I know in the military has seen my channel or any of my videos, I keep on telling myself, don't, would I have an issue with somebody in my leadership discovering, this video? And if I, if I can tell myself, okay, I'd be okay with if they found out about it, then go ahead and post it. There's nothing to be ashamed of that. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm gonna be even, more careful with it in the future. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you had a look at what's been happening with this viral video that I've got? It's have you seen that?
I have seen the video. So what? It's just like so it's just a episode, it's a Disney episode that you found that you liked, that you just uploaded it in its entirety.
Yeah. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less, and it's over 200,000 views right now. Yeah. Oh, there's one of the little people. Is that Josh?
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah. I wonder if Ragnar Lothbrok is still on the screen, still in the stream. He hasn't said anything in the chat. So Nathan is not allowed to have drones because he has little people. Was that Josh?
Yeah, that was Josh.
Yeah. So
Josh, hands out here. I'm barefoot because. So, but yeah, and it's kind of like, so a GoPro, which, it's kind of like, I'd like to own a GoPro, but I wouldn't know what to do with it. I like, I've been really getting into watching a lot of GoPro videos, especially underwater stuff. But it's kind of like, I like watching that stuff. I wouldn't really want to create that kind of stuff. Just like I like watching drone videos, but I wouldn't really like to enjoy creating drone videos. I like watching gaming Let's Players, but I don't make that kind of content. I like watching it, I just don't be the one who makes it. So that's the kind of another thing is, I wouldn't want to make drone videos. I have definitely considered it, but it's just not something I would be interested in doing.
yeah, it actually it makes me wonder too. Now I don't know if you saw this, but Mr. Joel D, your friend and mine, made one drone video because he bought himself a DJI Spark. This is back in the days of VidMe. So now, as you probably know, he works in radio. He works at a radio station, and the main video that he made with his Spark was flying it up and down the radio antenna of the radio station that he works at. And then he made another video shortly after that where he's kind of like, well, I just couldn't help myself. I went and bought myself the DJI Mavic Pro. I already have the Spark and I love the Spark, but I had to get the Mavic Pro as well. And then that was it. I never saw another drone video from him ever again, which is it's a little bit sad when you see that type of thing, because the thing about it is, owning a drone, like owning a GoPro, you have to use it. If you want to get your money's worth, you got to use it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So I'm moving. And hell, the light is probably better up here anyway. I just have to hold it. So. But yeah, I mean, it's, I don't know. I'm also, kind of cheap. Like most of, I was about to pull out my my iPhone and show you. Most of my videos are showing on my iPhone, but I actually don't have it with me right now. But yeah, I shoot most of my videos on my iPhone because it's portable and whatnot. I just having kids. Kids are expensive. I can't afford this high end equipment and software, and I just kind of have to make what I can with what I got.
Yeah. I just noticed Capitan Bastos has jumped into the chat as well. Yeah. That was you're pretty much kind of limited with money and stuff. I mean, you definitely can tell good stories with just with a cell phone, basically. But I think the challenging part is actually being creative, actually coming up with something that's unique enough, I suppose, that not a lot of other people are doing it. I was hoping you could tell us more about a satisfying experiment, and how you came up with that, and how it's going so far, what your thoughts and feelings on it are.
Well, Satisfying Experiment died horribly in like a flaming fireball because, so something I was doing is all these videos I was sharing to Reddit. They have some satisfying Reddit threads. I'm like, oh, let me share them to these. And after a couple of days of those videos being up, I started looking at the analytics, and I noticed, not even exaggerating, it was like 96% of the views were coming from an external source, meaning most likely Reddit. So I'm like, oh, that's where all these views are coming from. That's why it's blowing up and whatnot. Also, I kind of got on this thread's bad side because, you know, I was doing like a video a day, and then I shared it to Reddit, and they accused me of spam. And I messaged them. I'm like, all right, my bad. I see what you're saying. I shouldn't have done that every single day. Hey, can you like ban me, and you know I'll do better in the future. And to this day, they still haven't gotten back to me yet. But so I am permanently banned from them because, you know, doing a video a day they consider spam, which I guess is arguable, you know, if you want to call it that. But so yeah, the fact that I was only getting views because of Reddit, that was literally the only reason. Because the other 6% of the views were coming from subscribers and whatnot. And, you know, like I said, the one thing that was giving me all the views, I got banned from, so I just had to kill it. So, you know, and like I said, it was an experiment, see if it worked. It didn't work, so whatever, so moving on. But yeah, now I'm enjoying doing, like, you know, sketch-oriented stuff and vlog-oriented stuff that, you know, requires more planning out and editing and, you know, that sort of thing. So, you know, I have some inexpensive software that I use along with my, you know, crappy little camera phone and whatnot. So, you know, in you know, so I do like low tech videos. So maybe like that can kind of be like my thing. Is like you know, like maybe even, you know, I should purposely kind of stay low tech to show people what you can do with low tech equipment and software. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the biggest challenge is fitting into a normal everyday life where we all go to work and do a job, is how to fit into that life. You know, the ability to how to fit into that life telling a fun and interesting story with limited resources, and that is really tough because, I mean, everyday life is boring and mundane basically. So it's like, how do you get past that, I suppose. And I've just noticed we've got a couple of more people who have just jumped into the chat. We've got Dave and we've got Capitan Bastos. Just one more thing. How much did SeaWorld in San Diego... Oh, no, sorry, you wouldn't have even paid for it, would you? SeaWorld in San Diego.
No, because like I said, it's free for you once a year. So if I were to go... Actually, so since I went last year, I can technically go again this year, but... So it's free once per year for up to 2 additional people. So I'm like, okay, well, there's me and so there's myself. I'm free. My wife is one of those 2 people. My daughter is also the other one, and my son was free because he was 1 at the time. So we technically all 3 of us were free. So like if my son was older, then I would have had to pay for him or my daughter or something like that. But you know, coincidentally, so if we were to go again this year, I don't know what the age cutoff is, but like, you know, it might be like, okay, my wife and my daughter are free, and then I got to pay for my son, or, you know, I got to pay for one of the kids or something like that. But either way, it's still better than, you know, nothing. But, you know, of course, we also had to pay for food as well, and that's expensive, but at least we didn't have to pay for entrance fees, so. But yeah, my wife actually did a vlog while we were there because she was, I wasn't a vlogger yet, but she always has been basically from the beginning of her YouTube channel. And I was thumbing through her channel, I'm like, I know she has a vlog of it somewhere because I remember her vlogging it, and I want to, if I find it, I'll share it to Twitter so you can see it. But I can't seem to find it now. You know, it's not, it, you know, it wasn't even a year ago, so it can't be that far down into her channel that I can't seem to find it. She says she did one, but if I do find it, I'll share it to Twitter so you can watch her vlog.
Cool. Well, if I find it, I'll watch it. Is there anything else you wanted to add to the Skype call? Because I think I've probably got 1 or 2 others that want to call in on Skype as well.
And actually my hands are getting kind of tired from holding the camera since I don't have anything to rest on anymore. So yeah, I'm willing to you know, end this if you want to move on to someone else.
Okay, cool. Thanks for calling in.
No problem.
See ya. Right, that was Nathan from California. He actually lived in Germany for a wee while. He's in the US Army, and yeah, and now he's in California in the desert. So yeah, just to fill in Dave and Bastos Einstein, I just played some at the beginning of the stream. I just played some leftover clips from the last trip to China, just some quirky random stuff. I talked a little bit about the future travel plans, and I'm actually glad Dave is here. If he's still here, I'm assuming he's still here, because I talked with Dave a little bit about travel plans last night, and they were his travel plans because he is going to do a road trip south, and I want to do a road trip north. Here's the problem though. I mean, I want to see a lot of the North Island, and the North Island of New Zealand. There's a lot to see. You can't really get it all done in one road trip. I mean, maybe it's going to take 2. It'd probably take 3 or 4, to be honest, to see, you know, a lot of the North Island. Give me a call, Dave, if you want to call in. We won't keep the calls going too long because they've already been going for an hour, and I don't want the stream to be like super long. But if you want to call in, and we'll have a quick chat about travel plans. The number, as always, is 1-800-Y2J, available on Skype. Skype is open, waiting for your call. Waiting for the call from Dave O'Killip, if he's going to call in. We will see. So, here's what I was thinking about doing. I was thinking about splitting the North Island in terms of road tripping and going and checking it out into 2 different road trips. Can you catch a ride with him on the way back? Probably not practical. Probably not practical. Okay, so geography of New Zealand. Still waiting for your call, Dave. If you're going to call in, feel free to butt in with the Skype call as soon as you are ready. Okay, let me just bring up a map here of New Zealand, North Island. Okay. Alright, so you've got to come up all the way to the top of South Island, which is sort of 6-7 hour drive to get to Picton, and then get over to Wellington. Then when you're in Wellington, you have to decide where you want to go from there, because if you're going to go from Wellington down here, you know, up to sort of, you know, Hamilton, Rotorua, I mean that's like a whole day's drive just getting up there. If you want to get up to Rotorua. And then you go to Auckland up the top here, and I mean, if you went from Auckland up to Cape Reinga, I'm not actually sure how far that is. That's probably a 4 or 5 hours drive in of itself. I think that there's plenty of things to see up there. I've never really been up there, but basically my idea was to fly to Auckland, because I really needed to split this into 2 road trips. Fly to Auckland, rent a car, drive up to Cape Reinga, you know, up one side of like 90 Mile Beach, and then back down the other side of 90 Mile, or you know, the other side through Whangarei and stuff, and do that for approximately a week. That's the idea for one road trip, like the Cape Reinga. That'll be like Super Amazing Adventure to Cape Reinga or something. And then the next road trip would be, Hamish, would you be on a trip like that? Right, probably not. I doubt it. Yeah. Yeah, one road trip up to Cape Reinga, and then the next road trip would be like a 2 or a 3 week road trip, driving up to Wellington and then going up to sort of Rotorua and then back down. Because the thing is, the North Island, just like the South Island, the North Island is actually friggin' big. I mean, people look at New Zealand on a map, on a world map, and they think that it's a tiny little place, but it still takes a while to get around and see everything. I'm heading west at the same time, and welcome to Nintendo 2009 Yo. Welcome to the stream. We've actually been going for about an hour. We're probably not going to go for too much longer. I'm just waiting to see if Dave is going to call, but it doesn't look like he is, because he hasn't called yet and he hasn't adjusted his Skype status. So unless he calls in the next couple of minutes, the stream will be finishing. But just talking about the the travel plans coming up. Just make sure you have a fridge in the Adventure Mobile and it's stocked up on Bex all the time, and Hamish will do pretty much. Hamish will be doing pretty much anything. Can you call Hamish? He's having trouble with Skype. Okay, so Dave's having trouble with Skype. So if anyone else wants to call in, it is now or never. Otherwise, the stream will be finishing in a couple of minutes. So that kind of opens it up to Bastos or Hamish. So the lines are open. 1-800-Y2J, available on Skype. Skype is waiting for your call. We'll have a little bit of a talk about travel, and maybe we'll have a talk about the situation in Thailand with the cave, or something else. Once again, 1-800-Y2J. The phone lines are open on Skype, and if we don't have any callers, then we'll be finishing off the stream. So I talked on my stream yesterday, my little practice live stream, about the situation in Thailand, and it's got all the makings of a movie, to be honest. So I just hope that we have a good outcome there, and I think do you miss the days of I miss VidMe so much? I do. I miss VidMe a lot. Were you on VidMe? Nintendo 2009. And if you were, how did you find my live stream today? Just out of curiosity. Yeah, I do miss VidMe. VidMe wasn't perfect. It had its flaws. I mean, I would say one of the big flaws of VidMe was the search engine. The search engine on VidMe basically sucked. You couldn't find anything. But the good thing about it was it wasn't completely oversaturated with people making the same videos. So it was a little bit easier to sort of get noticed, get discovered. If you can't call Dave, you should call him. Call Hamfish or Nintendo 2009. Hamfish! You should call Ham. I think Hamish might have disappeared because he hasn't posted anything in the last couple of minutes. I think he's disappeared. Anyway, yeah, the situation, getting back to that situation in Thailand, if you've been following the news, boys trapped in a cave, the monsoons are coming, and they're afraid that that cave is going to flood again, so there's a lot of dangers. There is a danger that the oxygen is going to run out, and there's a danger that once the monsoon rain starts again, that it's going to flood. And once again, this is your 1 minute warning. We'll be ending the stream now unless we get a call. So the option to get them to put on the scuba gear and dive out may actually be the only option. It depends on what happens with that water, because I mean, if it starts raining and then they just leave it too late, that it could completely flood again, or it could even get worse than what it is now. And there's millions and millions and millions of litres of water to get out of that cave. So, it's... I think it is actually achievable, because I've looked at enough of those 3D maps, right? You look at the news reports that the TV stations and stuff are doing, where they're telling you about how far the boys are into the cave and how far along and all the sections they've got to get through. You've got the walking, climbing section and the narrow passage section and the long flooded section. And, they have actually made progress with the water levels. They've actually gotten those water levels down. So it's more achievable now than it was several days ago to get them out. But it's still really dangerous, because panic will set in. If you're putting on a dive mask and a wetsuit and stuff for the first time, swimming out through the water, and that water is not necessarily going to be hot either. It could be very well be cold water. Elon Musk is working on a submarine for the boys. Wow, yeah. I don't know if you'd be able to get it done in time, but wow. Yeah. I don't know if any of the options will get there in time. I mean, technically they could bring drilling equipment up to the top of the mountain and do what they did in Chile in 2010 and drill down, but are they going to make it in time? I mean, that took like a month of drilling. I think it was like 5 weeks of drilling to actually get down to those miners, because it was a long way down, and these boys are also a long way down, and you're talking about getting drilling equipment up into a jungle, basically, because that's what's on top of that mountain. It's basically a jungle. It's not a nice flat, desert like they had in Chile. So Elon Musk is working on a submarine for the boys, he said, within 8 hours using SpaceX team. Well, okay, right, I think we will wrap up this stream with that. We do not have any more Skype callers, so I'm going to play something special for you right now. What I'm going to play for you is the Goodnight KIWI. What is the Goodnight KIWI? Well, back in the old days, back in the 1980s, I think it was. Let's get this video queued up and ready to go. Back in the 1980s, television in New Zealand didn't always go like 24 hours, right? You had a close down time. And the close down time was like midnight usually, and every TV station has its own way of signing off, saying good night, farewell, have a good evening, and so on. Yeah, and here is my sign off for this live stream. This is the Goodnight KIWI. Y2J does Asia style. Thanks for tuning in. If you're catching at the end of the live stream here, you can go down to the time codes in the description. There'll also be a comment there with the time codes where you can jump around to where you want to see in this video and see the little bits and stuff that I've posted on the stream. Okay, see you later. When I was a kid and I saw that, I used to bawl my eyes out. It just, it was so upsetting.